double.
Welcome to the Footy Fetish podcast.
Footy Fetish.
With your boys.
Tuesday evenings, Thursday evenings, and Sunday. Oh, mate.
That's what we should intro the podcast, boys. Welcome back, everyone, to the Footy Fetish podcast with myself, Alfie, my boy Mark,
Yo,
and Ollie.
Yo.
No Harry today. He is he's unavailable. But he will be in for next Tuesday, I believe. He said he's definitely got. I think he's got that off to film. So we'll have the boys back together on that day.
Boys will be back in town.
Yeah, today. Well, I guess it's Series 2, Episode 2. Overall, not a clue what episode number we're on. Honestly, couldn't tell you.
30 something maybe.
30 something, did you say?
30 something or
Yeah, something like that.
early 40s.
Yeah.
Roughly around there.
But yeah, Season 2, Episode 2. And we're just going to go over some football news today. We're going to start with that, and then we'll go over some of the results that were on the weekend. I know Ollie is dying to talk about the Arsenal game and their start of the season.
I'm dying, yes. But maybe not about that.
But yeah, we'll get into some transfer news stuff and that kind of thing right off the bat. I don't think we've covered this, to be honest, boys. I know it seems like it was only unveiled the other day, but it seems like a while ago this happened. But Lukaku to Chelsea from Inter Milan, boys.
big moves.
£97 million altogether. I don't know if you guys saw the other day, but Inter fans have defaced a mural of Lukaku in Milan. And then he subsequently put that open letter out to Milan fans and stuff. But I just want to get your guys' thoughts basically on this. And Lukaku's return to the Prem, his return to Chelsea. Mark, thoughts, mate? I just want to see what you think.
I didn't know about this defacing of the statue there.
Yeah, of the mural. It's pretty bad, isn't it?
What did they do to it exactly? Do you know?
I think they just blacked out the message that was like welcome, like, do you know what I mean? Like they didn't do actually anything crazy. They just blacked it out, and then I think they wrote something about just their disappointment basically in Lukaku.
Okay, it could have gone a lot worse then. To be fair, that could have gone a lot worse. But well, the move to Chelsea. I mean, let's be honest, they got the money. I think it's a good move. I think if they wanted to win the Premier League, I think it's a good move.
Well, we want them to win the Premier League, apparently.
Well, I don't, but that's another story. But no, Lukaku, let's be honest, he's a fabulous striker. He probably could help that link up with Timo as well. We all know he struggled to find.
Oh, I think that's going to be a great little link up.
Yeah, well, I think
Timo could do anything but score.
Lukaku could do everything. He can't do anything but score as well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, I think it's going to be an interesting watch. Hopefully, he doesn't fall under the trope of being a Chelsea striker flop, because I mean, Timo was supposed to be banging in goals and he didn't really do that. So hopefully Lukaku doesn't get affected, because I actually quite like Lukaku. Really good player.
Very good player.
But
Seems like a lovely bloke as well. I'm not gonna lie.
But to put it into simple words, it's going to be exciting to watch, because he's an exciting player.
So before I come to you, Ollie, in your opinion, I just want to run over some stats. So basically, last time he was in the Prem, when he was with United, and then his time at Inter Milan, just sort of, get a gauge of the player that he is, basically. So last time, obviously, we'll go for 17-18 was with Man United. Obviously, he played 34 games, 16 goals, 7 assists. It was actually not a bad outing, to be honest. But then in 18-19, he took a step down with 32 games and just the 12 goals. But then really stepped things up, boys, in 19-20 when his first season in Milan, 36 games, 23 goals and 2 assists. And then last year, obviously, his big year, the one that's got him this move, that Inter Milan, won the Serie A for the first time in over a decade now, I think. And yeah, he got 36 games, 24 goals and 11 assists.
Jesus.
Now that's some Harry Kane stuff. That obviously different leagues, different difficulty. Do you know what I mean? We're being completely honest. But Ollie, what do you think? Are we going to have Man United Lukaku now that he's back in the Prem, or are we going to have some form of this Inter Milan, maybe even better Lukaku?
I'm hoping for the latter. I'm hoping for Inter Milan Lukaku point 2.
We know that you're picking him up in the fantasy league this week.
I think everyone already knew that. Come on.
True.
If we're going to be serious about it, I was giving it the whole, I might let someone else. obviously I was going to take him, but even still, I think he's going to hopefully just absolutely dominate. I think he's exactly what Chelsea need right now. They did pretty well still last year, even with Timo not sort of converting a lot of these chances, still won the Champions League. I think all of this is going to do is just make him go strength to strength, really. I did see that technically, I think Chelsea have paid £100,000 for Lukaku, because the amount of players that they've sold and sent out on loan and everything, they've recouped all of the money bar £100,000 that they've spent on Lukaku. So they've technically, literally spent £100,000 on him. There.
Although, like with this stuff, like I always feel like, you know how Pep brings out that awful bit of info, like his opinion saying, oh, you know, we sell this such a player, so you know it means that we only actually spend this much player.
Yeah, he
but
was saying
at the
that.
end of the day, you've still spent £100 million on a football player. Like,
He was saying
however you want. But
He's still got that price
only
tag.
We've only spent 60 or 40 or however much it was, but
out, mate.
technically you have. But yeah, even still, I think he's going to do very well. I hope he does for fantasy reason purposes. But yeah, he's in a lot better shape. I don't, not to say that he was in bad shape beforehand, but compare pictures of him now in that Chelsea kit compared to him at United. He's last season at United. He looks very different. He's in a lot better shape, and hopefully he'll just obviously bring what he's been doing in Serie A into the Prem and into Chelsea, and then that'll be the end of the Premier League, because they'll just go on to just dominate it, really. But yeah, excited to see what he says.
Welcome to the chat, Simon. Nice to see you. Hello there.
Welcome, lads.
He did say hey a few minutes ago, but we were obviously Ollie was in a little bit of a thing. But hello, welcome to the chat, Simon. Got to let
people land. But yeah, no, I don't know, man. I'm actually quite stuck here, lads, on what I think Lukaku's going to be.
What, in terms of his ability?
Yeah, I feel like this, obviously, actually, to be honest, this Chelsea team is like so much better than what that United team was when he was there. And the playmakers they have in behind him, Havertz, Mount, Werner, Ziyech, Pulisic, you know, all these boys, you know, even a bit further back, you got the likes of Jorginho, Kante that can pull strings. Surely he's got a bang goal, isn't he? Otherwise, this Chelsea like striker curse, bar Diego Costa, is like real. Like Diego Costa's the last good striker they had since Drogba, if we're being honest. And that's nearly 10 years ago now, Drogba.
Yeah, I was going to say Fernando Torres, but he was a bit iffy, wasn't he, when he was at Chelsea compared to
even
Liverpool.
Drogba was there while Fernando Torres was there, do you know what I mean? So
it's an expensive sub, is what I remember him being.
Yeah, I mean, if they're playing a two of Lukaku and Werner, I think that could be really fruitful for them.
I think they've got a lot to learn from each other as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's just, now I'm a little bit worried for my fantasy thing, because I've got Havertz, and I think now that Lukaku's in, that's definitely another spot off the table in terms of attacking players wise. So I'm a bit, I don't know, but yeah, I think Lukaku will probably do well. There's always that bit in it when you've seen someone not produce in the Premier League,
and there's
always that thing in the back of the head, isn't it?
Yeah, there's always going to be that worry. You can't forget the history. It's not like he obviously went from United being the best striker in the world to Inter and continued to be the best striker. He was very iffy when he left, and obviously he's managed to turn it around at Inter. And I hope he can just, as I say, keep that momentum going sort of in the Premier League again.
Do you remember how everyone used to meme about his first touch? About how it's poor, such a poor first touch. It's like...
True. Yeah, I think the way they're going to play it is, I think that he's going to be I think their whole thing is now just work it into the box with tight passing 1-2s to end up with Lukaku on the end of it, who can, you know, one touch finish it in the back of the net. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if we see rather than crossing balls in, maybe you see them with inverted wingers coming into the you know, attacking the edge of the penalty area and getting in good positions to then feed the pass off to someone into Lukaku. I think that's how they're going to play it.
I think in terms of your fantasy league worry, I think you'll be okay, in all honesty. I think that they're going to... I think Havertz is still probably going to have a very good chance of playing. I think
He's bloody good.
Probably a better chance of Havertz playing instead of Werner and they playing Lukaku up top on his own, maybe. I don't think they're going to.
You could play both Havertz and Lukaku at striker.
Yeah, or maybe Havertz is just behind, like a number 9 or something. But yeah, I think you probably won't be that badly screwed over. But yeah, be interesting to see what happens to Chelsea.
Yeah, I think. Well, we've predicted they go on and win it, and I do think that is going to be the case. But we'll move on from Lukaku to something that I thought was really cool. Before the Man United Leeds game, obviously they unveiled Raphael Varane. I don't really think we've spoken about Varane too much, apart from like the speculation at the beginning, you know. But yeah, Varane to United, 35 million, obviously unveiled at the game. I just want to pose a question to you guys: does the addition of Varane make Man United the best back line in the Premier League?
That's a tough one. There's a lot of good back lines.
He still feels when fully fit as Liverpool.
Yeah, when fully fit, I'd have to say give it to Liverpool. But if you're thinking realistically, we're still quite shaky at the back.
Yeah.
Like, I have 100% in Van Dijk's like decision making, but his physical ability, I think, would be a bit stunned having a year off football.
Oh mate, and that's not like it wasn't. It's not just some injury.
No, it was a proper
that's a career-ending injury for someone.
Yeah.
Like,
and then you've got Gomez as well, who has had a lot of injuries. A centre-back Konate, who obviously has a lot of talent, but is a little bit...
ain't seen anything yet.
Not really seen anything from him. So, like...
Did he play? Did he start against Norwich?
No. Matty.
It was Matty, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Matty was...
He was good, though. He was solid.
Again.
So right now, I guess, is with the addition of Varane, so with everything that we've got, that's actually going on right now. So, you know, the Robertson injury, you know, stuff like this. Is this the best defense in the league? Because I'm thinking it might be.
It's got to be right
I'm
now.
thinking it might be. I think last year they were really good. Their back line was really, really good. And if you think about it, only really 3 out of their back 4 were actually performing at quite a good standard. Sort of Shaw, Maguire, and Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, their other centre back was it was Lindelof or whoever was playing at centre back for them was a bit shaky. Was it Eric Bailly? They didn't have any one person that was pretty solid as a partner for Harry Maguire. So I think now they have brought Varane in. That could be sort of that missing piece of the puzzle there, and that back line could just be impenetrable. I'm very excited to see what he can do. I think it was quite a cool way to announce him as well, to sort of bring him out in front of a stadium full of fans. You don't really see that.
It got the crowd going, man.
Yeah, you don't see that sort of thing in England. And obviously you then see what happened in the game as well, and it clearly spurred them on to
Bruno.
Do well.
Thank you, my man. You are my first pick in the fantasy draft. You did me an absolute solid this past weekend. Top of the league, but we'll get onto that at the end. I'm just going through some of his like defensive stats and stuff like that. But obviously European
early 30s, late 20s.
He's 28.
Yeah.
So he's still got a little while.
Yeah, he's still got a fair few years left on him.
But yeah, I mean, they might have the best passing duo in the league now at centre back, because we know how Harry Maguire can ping them, but Varane as well can absolutely lever them. So it should be pretty interesting. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka's got to get better going forward, but unless you're Charlie Austin, you don't think this. But Wan-Bissaka's an amazing defender. But yeah, I just think, I think that this puts United in the title contention. I really do, especially with the way they started, and they didn't even have Sancho or Rashford in that team either. They were playing Daniel Jones and Pogba on the left. Even though Pogba on the left looked bloody incredible.
Right, so I'm only assuming we're reviewing this game now.
Daniel James.
Yeah.
Daniel James. Sorry.
So are we getting into that game now, reviewing it?
No.
I have some things to talk about.
Yeah. Well, hold on to your hat, mate. Hold on to your hat.
Okay.
We'll speed through these last couple transfers.
Oh, Lily.
Into this. Right. Tammy Abraham to Roma, 40 million euros with an 80 million euro buyback clause. 2 questions. How do you think he'll do in Rome, in Italy? And 2, will Chelsea be buying him back? do you see him returning? Ollie.
Yeah, I think there is a possibility. That is a very Chelsea thing to do, to put something like that in there and bring him back for 80 mil in however many seasons it may be. Whether he's sort of really performing in Italy. I think obviously they've just bought Lukaku back, obviously however many years later, but him performing at Inter Milan, clearly obviously he's taken like the whole world's eye and looking at him. And now obviously if they can, you've seen obviously what other young sort of English players can do when they go abroad, and see what Jadon Sancho and Jude Bellingham, when they go obviously over to the Bundesliga, you do get a bit more of a spotlight on you over when you're sort of an Englishman playing abroad, because it's not as common as sort of a lot of other people say maybe playing in the Premier League. So I think he could definitely go back for 80 million. I'm not sure when that would be, but in the grand scheme of things, if he's a player that's worth 120 million at the time, bringing him back for 80, they're just going to be rubbing their hands together. And in today's transfer market, a player costing 80 million can be a bit of a bargain, depending on sort of who it may be. So, yeah, I think he'll potentially go back to.
He'll do well in the Serie A.
I think he will. He was good, and he always has been quite good. He's just struggled to get that game time. I think in Roma, obviously playing under Jose as well, where he's already got that relationship. He knows what Jose expects of him. So I don't see why he wouldn't perform over there.
Yeah. Mark, what do you reckon, mate?
Well, I think, let's not forget, I think at a time he was Chelsea's top goal scorer. Last season. So
he was so good on that.
I don't think I'm going to doubt his ability in that Chelsea squad. I wouldn't doubt whether he can take that ability over to
playing under Jose.
Yeah, of course. So like Ollie was saying, he knows what's expected of him, and I agree. I agree.
Of football as well, Jose.
But hopefully, I mean, I would want to see him do really well if he's an English player. So I'd love for him to just absolutely thrive, and then Chelsea just begging him to come back. That would be awesome, because that means he is performing. But I do think he will do well. I think he lacked game time. I think he has the ability. He knows how to finish. I just think he lacked the game time. And in that Chelsea squad, I mean, bar from when they couldn't buy any players, that's the only time he got game time, really, when they just couldn't replace him effectively, which kind of sucked, but it really gave him that platform to move on to these teams with Jose and stuff like that. So I think he will do well, and yes, I think Chelsea will take him back on that basis.
I think he's gonna fucking smash it.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna be a 20+ goal scorer in Serie A. I really do think he's gonna smash it. The thing is though, when he's coming back, I don't see it being Chelsea. For some reason, I've just got Tammy in a Liverpool kit in my head, and I have no idea why. But I would just think that would be kind of sick for him to come back and play someone like that.
Much better, Origi.
Oh mate, yeah, much better than Firmino.
Oh mate, that'd be sick. Actually, would be awesome. Don't get me guessed like that.
I know. I just think I could just. It's just in my head. It's in my head, boys. One to make Ollie cry now. Manuel Locatelli to Juve.
I'm not bothered. I knew this was never happening. Everyone knew it was never gonna happen.
He's such a good player.
When he was still at the Euros, he even said he didn't want to go to Arsenal. He would look good in the Arsenal kit, yeah, but even when he was still playing at the Euros, he came out and said he doesn't want to play for Arsenal. Fair enough. I knew throughout the whole thing it was just going to be speculation. He was never going to come to Arsenal. Everything I ever read about him being sort of linked with Arsenal was always saying he's not interested. But nothing's going to happen.
He just suits Juve, doesn't he?
Yeah, 100%. He's a
down to T, man. He's a prototypical Italian Juventus player. He's a Pirlo-esque sort of looking lad. Do you know what I mean? Like,
looks good in that kit as well.
Long hair, like looks good in the black and white stripe. Like, yeah, he's gonna smash it over there, I imagine. Like a Marquisio-esque sort of player, man. Remember him? What a baller Marquisio was. But yeah, last bit, Ollie. How do you feel about this other Coutinho swap thing? Because I just think it's a lose-lose situation for both teams.
100%. I'm not interested. I understand shaking up the team a bit. I understand, obviously, if like who has not been playing very well. But you look at Coutinho, what has he done since he's been at Barca apart from cost them way too much fucking money?
Did all right in Bayern, didn't he?
He's the best league in the world.
Exactly. Like he obviously he was good at Liverpool. He left and has basically been on a downward trajectory at Barca ever since. Apart from when he did his little stint at Bayern, where he was better, but nowhere near the rest of the Bayern standard. He's just been on a downward trajectory for a long time, and I think it is a big risk for Arsenal to get rid of someone like Aubameyang and bring in Coutinho, who could be even worse. And then we're stuck with Coutinho for however long. I just think it's really uninspiring. I think it's easy. It's such an easy link to make. I just think that if we're going to sell Aubameyang, I'd definitely rather get someone better than Coutinho in.
Yeah, I'm looking at
especially everything going on with Barca at the moment as well. They're crumbling. They are really they're in bad way at the moment. They're 1.3 billion euros worth of debt or something. So I think it's just. I think Barca soon enough, slightly off topic, but I reckon they might start to crumble unless they get some serious funding in, or some more sponsorship from elsewhere. I think they might actually start to properly crumble and maybe fall down the league, and it could even do a bury and just leave and completely disintegrate into nothing. But
it's looking bad for them.
That's what I mean. So I just think with the whole Coutinho thing, it's just very uninspiring. I think it's just boring. Such an easy link to make.
Last year, you played 12 matches, got 2 goals, 2 assists for Barca. For the season before, for Bayern Munich, you played 23 matches, got 8 goals and 6 assists. So it's seen if he does get us a bit more match time. Only 2 seasons ago, he was giving you 8 goals and 6 assists. I'm sure, that's all right? Like that's something you guys.
I think I would rather someone that's going to be doing what Aubameyang was doing for Arsenal and getting top goal scorer and really helping us, pushing us forward. I think someone like Coutinho, he's probably not the right sort of guy for it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. What do you think of the Ødegaard one? I know to move on, we're moving on because I know that I just think it's a loss. I don't know how you feel, Mark, but it's just an L for both teams.
I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I'm just you know what, that doesn't excite me. It's not a good deal to me. So
nice. But sorry, Ollie, Ødegaard, because I'm seeing 30-40 million being thrown around.
We're basically going to be paying half what we would be paying for James Maddison, but for getting Ødegaard. I think he's already had 6 months with the team, but again, I don't think those 6 months. If he did a full season at Arsenal last season, I think there would be lots stronger links.
Sorry to interrupt, but just come to me, Ed. If you're going to go 30 million on Ramsdale, 30 or 40 million on Ødegaard, why don't you just not do that and do 70 million for Maddison?
Yeah, but then we also then still need a goalkeeper.
I don't know, man. You can ride it out with Leno, I think, for this year.
I think we can ride it out. I don't see the point. We've got Leno, and then we've got that Runnerson guy or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, Leno's not great, but he's not
he's not awful.
Bad. He can still pull out a save, a save that you're like, oh, what a save every now and then.
100%.
Pull one of them out, arse.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know what Eddie's playing at, to be honest, but I think
he's going the right way for a sacking, man.
Probably not with Kroenke at the head, but
you're
doing really well, to be fair.
Yeah, not progressing the team at any point and wasting my money.
Just you're my type of guy. You are. I just think with Ødegaard, I think if he'd been at Arsenal for all of last season, he definitely probably would have had a slightly better time. He didn't do awfully in the 6 months he was with us in the sort of second half of the season, but I just didn't think he had enough time to really fit in and sort of adapt to the Premier League style of football. But now I'm a bit like, I'm not sure if he's the sort of person we should be bringing in permanently. As I say, if he was there throughout the whole of last season, I think I'd be a bit more confident with bringing him in because he's had that enough time to sort of adapt. I don't want him to now spend the first half of this season adapting and then starting to perform at the end of the season, where ideally we need him to be straight off the mark performing. But again, if you think about it, 35 mil, 40 mil, that's not a huge amount in today's transfer market, but And if we're going to be having to be paying double that for someone like Maddison, who's going to be playing the same position, then I wouldn't be angry with Odegaard coming in. But I just think it's I'm a bit 50-50. I could take him or lose him, really. I'm not really hugely bothered, but we do need to bring someone in. And I just don't want it to get to the point where we're faffing around for so long that it just gets to way too late in the window and then we panic buy. And we just make huge errors. So, yeah, I could take him or leave him.
It's just one of them. It is what it is, isn't it, really? That's it for me transfer news, boys. Let's get on to some football, shall we? Some proper football. Stuff that happened over the weekend. And as we've just been talking about Arsenal, why not continue in the same form? Now, Ollie, you know, you're at mine. We were chilling, you know, just having a nice evening. We were excited the football's back. You know, it was good vibes. It was good vibes. And then an hour and a half later, man.
Yes. For the first
Tables
maybe,
were being flipped.
Yeah. It was.
Talk me through it, brother.
We started off quite well. We had a lot of possession at the beginning. But
You ended with 65% possession.
I think after the first half an hour or 25 minutes or something, we had 70% possession.
Yeah.
So we did dominate the ball, but it's just, again, because I think I'm not too pissed off because, like I sort of briefly mentioned in the last podcast we did, it's the first game of the season. We had Aubameyang and Lacazette that were unexpectedly announced as ill on the day. We started Balogun, who's not had basically any Premier League experience. He's had little bits here and there, but he's not had like huge amounts.
Basically his debut.
It wasn't great, man.
Yeah, it wasn't great up top. I think we were lacking someone like Aubameyang or Laka with a bit more experience up there. Balogun, he did make a couple of rash shots where he was like not really in a position to be shooting, but he shot anyway. I think he was just maybe trying to outperform himself on his debut or something. But yeah, I just think I could see it coming. I think I text you, I text him before the game or something, before I came to yours, and I said, in all honesty, I could see it going either way. I could see us losing, and then ultimately, just before kickoff, I did say, you know what, I'm going to try and be positive. 2-0 Arsenal, and then we lost 2-0 to Brentford. Yeah, it's one of those things, really. I'm not going to dwell on it. Out of all the teams that have been promoted this season, kind of glad that it was Brentford that beating us, because I think we've put Brentford that are going to be the best out of the teams that have come up this season. So hopefully that does happen. Right. Otherwise, we'll just look stupid, to be honest. But it is what it is. Our next few games aren't any easier. Arguably a lot harder. We're playing Chelsea and City, but it is what it is.
I know we didn't help it because we made them look really good, but holy shit, Chelsea.
Yeah.
They are mad, bro. I've just realised as well, I don't know when this is, but there was no draws this weekend. I'm just looking, there's literally just green, red.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, literally.
It's kind of mad. I wonder when the first,
goals in every game.
Yeah, as well. That's mad. I love it. But yeah, man, I mean, the goals were, like, Leno should not be beaten on the first one at his near post. Like, it just shouldn't have been. And the second one, I can't remember what happened for the second one. We were watching the game, but it's kind of lost my head. What happened for the second one?
Choose not to remember what happened.
Wasn't they targeting Ben White? Then they put a ball over the top, and I think it just got knocked in.
Thank you for reminding me, man. Ollie, we got to talk about Ben White. I know it's his debut and that.
I've got some.
But, my man did not look like a £50 million player, I've got to say.
So, no. Again, I'm trying not to read too much into it. I'm very much relying on this. It's first game of the season, but there's still time. Don't worry. But yeah, I think because he was playing with someone like Pablo Mari in the back line instead of Gabriel, I think he probably would have been better off with Gabriel, because I think having like your debut, you're always going to be a bit nervous, but having then someone with like another really good centre back to partner with and to help you sort of to build your confidence, keep your confidence high. Like, you need to have confidence in each other, and I think neither Pablo Mari or Ben White had any confidence in one another. I didn't have much confidence in Pablo Mari, to be honest. I was quite surprised when I saw him. He was starting, and yeah, he is truly shy.
Actually, yeah, we need to not like Pablo Mari. You ain't got away with nothing, blood. You just didn't cost £50 million.
Yeah,
you are rubbish.
That
You
price
didn't
tag,
cost-
that price tag comes with some eyes, and he will be looked at because of that price tag.
But I personally think that if Ben White was playing with Gabriel, and when he does start to play in the middle with in the back with Gabriel, I think he will be better. I think that partnership will become more solid. Like it's only been like a week or two, so basically like 2 weeks since he joined. So there's still a lot of time. He's got a lot of learning to do. He's got to adapt to the whole Arsenal play. He's got to adapt to everything really. So I'm just hoping it can only be up from here really, because it wasn't very good. It didn't fill me with much confidence watching, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's funny because shout out TalkSport, but I saw Darren Bent on there saying if you put Ben White in City or United's defence, then he'll look like a £50 player, and I just felt like I was just like, well, no shit, mate.
£50 player or £50 million
pounds? £50 million player, and I was like, well, no shit, mate.
Yeah,
That's just completely different scenarios, man.
There's a squad around that one
Yeah.
player is ridiculous.
Do you know what I mean? Like, of course he's gonna look better. If you're in a better team, you're gonna look better. That's just how it goes.
That's how it works.
Yeah, but you know, it is what it is. Arsenal got, like you said, Ollie, got a tough couple games up. You've not got Laka or Oba for the Chelsea game.
is that confirmed?
I haven't seen it confirmed, but I've just seen rumours. So
As it stands.
as it stands, but what the rumours are saying is yet to be confirmed. As of our knowledge, let us know if it has been confirmed in the comments. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one then. In that case, man, it's going to be a rough game.
I'm not expecting to pick up any points from the next 2 games.
Yeah,
100%.
I don't. Yeah, I think you might be correct, brother.
I'll be happy if we get 1 point out of the next 2 games, but I'm not expecting any points. So the next couple of podcasts are going to be very miserable.
I'll be right with you, brother. We'll be 20th and 19th. Don't worry.
Yes.
Yeah, we got Brentford this weekend at home. First game at Sellers Park.
That's gonna be a good game.
Really, I'm just hoping the boys can really turn it on. We'll get there, but I feel whatever. United leads 5-1. This was so good to watch, man. Saturday.
That's a great
first game of the day. I was just sitting there. I was so excited to be watching football. I'm looking at my fantasy league. I'm like, got Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, and Sancho. I know Sancho didn't start, but I was still gassed to watch it. And yeah, man, it did not disappoint. Holy shit, Man United look good.
They do.
Man United,
Very impressive. To be fair, I'll give it to Leeds. The first 5 or 10 minutes, Leeds looked the better side, and United went from one moment they'd be looking really shaky at throughout the whole of the pitch. They're making sort of small little passing errors, and then a minute later, not even a minute later,
just turn it on,
bang. They just went from looking like absolute shite to
prime Barcelona.
Literally, they just flipped. It was like they flipped
a couple passes and they're through.
Exactly, they just something like they flicked a switch and they just looked incredible after that. They did not stop.
Yeah, adds Sancho, a fit Marcus Rashford, and Varane to that team, and it's going to be the beauty.
Hard to break down, hard to defend against.
Gosh, yeah, they just need to get someone in that midfield. Although we have to say, credit where credit is due. Scott McTominay and Fred played their asses off in that game.
They're workhorses.
Very good. Fred came up with his goal in the 68th minute. Obviously,
probably the most impressive I've seen of impressive thing I've seen from Fred.
And, you know,
took it well.
I mean, Pogba smashed it. Unbelievable on his day. We've given Pogba so much shit, and I only feel like it's right. Yeah, I only feel like it's right that when he has done right and done amazingly well, let's give it to him, because he was incredible. Souness doesn't think so. Which
wound me up, man.
Honestly, Souness needs to just. I don't even want to say it, bro.
He's a retire.
He's just such a miserable guy. It's so draining watching him on TV. Like, he's not entertaining.
This is the difference between Souness and Roy Keane. They're very much like that. They've got that bitter old man kind of character about them, but this is where Roy Keane's funny, and I think he does play up to a little bit. Graham Souness is just the most stern, stuck-up bastard, and that when Michael Richards fucking started going at Souness, and obviously Souness would just turn around like a little child and just put his back to him and stuff. You're like, oh, fucking grow up, Jesus Christ! Like, and you have to, like what we just said, you can slate a player if they're not doing well, but you have to give credit where credit's due. And the fact that Souness has completely disregarded Pogba, as much as you don't like him, you have to give him the credit.
Well,
he was
phenomenal.
Well,
for some reason, there's a personal thing there, and he's just a bitter old man. That's what he is. He's just a miserable old man.
It was
needs to get off the
it was the cheek to say, oh, I think Mason Greenwood has been the best player of the night, which he was fantastic.
Yeah,
but
you know, Bruno's got a hat trick of goals.
Bruno's just got a hat trick, and Fernandes just
Bruno's
got a hat trick, and Pogba's got 4 assists. Like Michael Richards just like
outrageous.
What are you on about, mate? It's ridiculous.
Gotta say, Greenwood's finish was lovely.
It was sublime.
Greenwood.
If he hadn't done that, my fantasy team would be even more fucked than it is.
But yeah, Leeds just failed. Bielsa just failed. I know I really rate Bielsa. We all do on this podcast.
Mickey B.
Mickey B.
We all rate him on this podcast. Gave him Manager of the Year, I believe.
We did,
on the award show.
So.
And just like it just failed to just get it together for this game. But we saw it from Leeds last year, man. We saw this. They get drummed by a few goals, and then they'll win their next game, 100%.
They're very much a yo-yo club in terms of one game they can look awful, but the next game they can look world class.
Calvin Phillips back properly.
But did we see Luke Ayling's goal?
Yeah, I was just about to say, that was the next thing I was about to say.
I've
got to say, all weekend there was a good, maybe a handful of brilliant goals, and his was up there. His was a fantastic goal.
Sky Sports do a thing where they obviously pick like some of the best goals for like the game week, and oh my god, every single time I was like, this is the best goal, and then it showed the next one. I'm like, nope, this is the best goal. And no, this is, oh my god, this is the best goal. Watford's goal. I mean, we'll get onto it, but. Oh my god. That's some blind.
But yeah, no, I just think with United going this way, bro, they have really shot themselves into title contention, like
100%.
Wow.
I was still kind of surprised that we put them.
Unreal.
I was kind of still kind of surprised that we put them third in the predictions, because I kind of thought you know what, they could definitely do something. Obviously they came second last year, but obviously there's City who don't look that strong at the moment after that game, but obviously Chelsea look incredibly strong. They're already going to get stronger with Lukaku. United look strong, probably only going to get stronger with Varane coming in, and when Marcus Rashford gets fit again. So yeah, they can definitely challenge for the title. I want to see 3 teams, probably not Liverpool, but 3 teams fighting on the last day of the season for the win. This is what I like, because it never comes down to the last day of the season anymore. The last time it happened was when City did the Aguero goal happened. City beat obviously United to the title, and other than that, it's always wrapped up way before the end of the season now. And I'd love to see 3, maybe even 4, the top 4 all going at it for the last amount of points that they can possibly get on the last game of the season to win it.
You know what? Like, I'm thinking that is the last day of the season. I remember.
What?
I think it's because it was.
City fan. I'm not even a City fan, but that memory is so vividly ingrained in my.
I think it is for a lot of people.
I remember where I was. Like, I remember celebrating. I remember everything about it. And yeah, what I hope it does. I think Liverpool will be in it probably.
Yeah.
I know we ruled them out, and we do have a little bit. We have a laugh at Liverpool's expense a lot on this podcast, but I do think they're actually decent.
We'll get on to it.
Thing with my throat. Hold on, 2 seconds. BRB.
No worries.
Oh, left us hanging.
Yeah. but I don't think we are going to speak about this Watford game, to be honest. But
Nah,
I know what you were saying.
Strapped for time.
I know what you were saying earlier about that Watford goal. That was lovely. Was it Sarr?
Yeah, it was.
Goal?
He was brilliant running down that wing. He was absolutely clutched every single time. Absolutely running mill.
Him and what's his name? Bonaventura. That was it.
Oh really?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Bonaventura.
Yeah. Great game.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Just had a little tick in my throat, and I didn't have any drinks near me. I didn't want to cough all in everyone's.
No worries. We were just having a little chat about Sarr's goal from Watford.
Yeah, we didn't think
So
we'd
we
get...
probably wouldn't actually talk about the Watford Villa game if we're not going to have time to speak about all of them. But
I hate Watford, bro. I don't want to talk about them any point on the podcast when they're losing. Leicester got off to a winning start. Wasn't a convincing one, though, I have to say. Yeah, I mean, they're not at their full strength. Obviously, like we've talked about Wesley Fofana and his impact, that's going to be like. They're really going to miss him this year. But they've got Vestergaard now, and I think that he's going to slot in nicely next to Soyuncu for the season. And I think they'll be all right, man, especially when they get James Justin back. I think he's back, but I'm not 100% sure. And Castagna, I know, is injured. So, they have got their injury worries at the moment.
The assist that led to Vardy's goal was lovely. Did you see? Was it Ricardo?
Whoever was on the right.
Yeah. What's his name? Ricardo, whatever.
Ricardo Pereira in my
broke.
I was gonna say Ricardo Perez, and I was like, it doesn't sound right. No, yeah, Ricardo Pereira, that's him. He did a lovely, he was in between, sandwiched in between two players, and just managed to
I think he
somehow get the. Yeah, he megged one of them and somehow just got the ball through and just whipped it in, and obviously
Vardy got a tight angle. Yeah,
Vardy does what Vardy does best and just banged it.
Got me them points.
So. Yeah, I think Wolves didn't do terribly, in all honesty. Obviously, losing a couple of players. Jimenez obviously coming back from that head injury. New manager. I think it didn't do badly, really. I think City, Leicester probably badly, really. Had a worse game than a lot of people were expecting. But yeah, I don't think it was a bad result really for Wolves. I think they were probably expecting to lose, but probably by more than one goal.
Love Jamie Vardy's shithouser as well, running up to the fans and howling.
Yep,
rate that.
Love it.
I think that's already nomination for shithouser of the year for next year's awards.
Oh yeah, definitely. When you need to make a note of that one as well. Yeah, so Leicester, I think they'll do okay. I think they'll just come into their form. Wolves, I think, will be fine as well. They've got no, they don't need to worry about going down.
1-0 sensible.
Traore didn't look too great. He had a couple of chances, definitely should have scored. He made one of the shots very easy for Schmeichel. But
oh, let's do it. Let's get onto it. Chelsea 3, Palace 0. Obviously 0.
0.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Palace fans are funny, right? They're a fickle bunch. They see that we lost 3-0 to Chelsea, and they're like, it's the worst result. It's one of the worst performances, worst result. And I'm like, guys, you cannot have forgotten the 7-0 battering to Liverpool last year, the 4-0 battering from Chelsea last year. We lost 3-0 to Aston Villa where they had 10 men for basically the whole game. We were terrible last year, and that game, I know we got battered 3-0 by Chelsea, right? At home, first game of the season, but we were not that bad. I've seen way worse. I saw some promising stuff, right? The one thing that did confuse me is we're going for a 4-3-3 and then we ended up playing a 4-4-2, but I think it was something to do with Vieira wanting to sort of surprise Chelsea, which is fair enough. He took a risk. I'll rate it. Roy never used to do anything like that.
Fair enough.
I've got to say we were pretty at the back, but once Chiarte went Joachim Anderson came on. I can't remember who he came on for, but he came and slotted in, and we moved to a back three. And Anderson looks like a good player, man. I just think IU needs to get the hell out of this squad and bring in Jez Raksaki. Remember that name, boys. Raksaki, right? He is he's a baller, right? Absolute baller. I'm really hoping that he starts against Brentford because, man, Zaha and him on those wings are going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
I think were a couple of players down. Well, you had quite a few youngsters being like in the squad.
Man,
I think because I saw something come from Vieira after the game that said that he still wants to make more signings because that the squad that he fielded wasn't like not in so many words, but you get the impression he wasn't that confident with the squad that he fielded because I think where you have lost a fair few experienced influential players in this summer, I think he's potentially looking to replace those with sort of some equally as experienced people, maybe not bring in all these youngsters and not have sort of any experience really in there. So I think by the end of the transfer window, you guys will have a bit more of a solid, more experienced squad.
From what I've seen, we're looking at Callum McGregor from Celtic. I don't know much about him, but from the Celtics fans' reaction on Twitter, I'm happy to have him for 9 million because they were saying like, "What the fuck? That's crazy." He's crazy. He's apparently very, very good player. Obviously, Scottish football. Say what you want about that, but I'll take him. And then it looks like I was actually on Twitter with some chatting on Twitter with some Palace like insiders and stuff like that today, and I was talking about Amad Diallo from Man United, the youngster. He's had 5 offers for loans. He said he wants to stay in the Premier League and play Premier League football, and only one Premier League football team has offered him a loan, and it's Palace. So hopefully we can get. I don't know much about him. We'll have to get Spards on, and we can talk about him when he's on at some point and see what he's like. But I just want Odsonne Edouard, man, because after seeing Mateta at that game, bro, if Benteke goes down, we are screwed. We need another striker. Mateta is not the one, man.
That's the thing about this Odsonne Edouard. He's basically priced himself out of all these deals. His wage demands are way too high than everyone's willing to pay at the moment. That's what's being reported everywhere. He's asking for way too much. But yeah, you might realise that, literally no one wants me because of my wage demand. So maybe I will take a little hit and obviously actually get some game time and sort of play in the Prem or whatever. But yeah, he's pricing himself out of a lot of deals.
Striker desperately, but
yeah,
we'll talk. But I think it's going to be hopeful. I think that we can really put the game to Brentford next week, and I hope we can, maybe. I think we could come out with 3 points of that game. I am looking really. I know they just beat Arsenal, whatever like that, but I think. I know, I do think that Arsenal team right now, it's a good opportunity for any team to play on. Do you know what I mean? And I do think that's a similar situation with Palace, but we know less about Palace in terms of what we can do than we know about this Arsenal team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just a bit hopeful right now that we can actually get free. Zaha's going to have a better week than he did against if we get Raksaki in there. Hopefully, Gallagher can get in the starting team. We'll hopefully have Gay and Anderson as the back 2 rather than Kouyaté and Gay. So yeah, it could be hopefully better. But let's talk about Chelsea. That's what people care way more about listening to this. Holy hell, them boys good.
You got stats.
Them boys good. So yeah, stats. They had 13 shots, 6 on target, 62% possession against us. They had 678 passes with 91% pass accuracy. 15 fouls though, so they are getting, we've got tricky players though, admittedly, more than a lot of teams in the Premier League, in terms of just, passing the ball, but Zaha, your Raksaki, even like your Schlups and people like that, they're tricky players, you know what I mean?
Drawing those fouls.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, they were good. They were bloody good. Yeah, sorry to harp back to Palace, but I can't remember the last time I saw Palace create over 400 passes with 85% pass accuracy. I'll take it. Chelsea looked good, man. Pulisic looked good. Alonso's free kick, that was unlucky because I think it was a goal. I think it was a soft foul. I think it was a soft foul to give.
Soft foul, but yeah, that's where sort of these bigger teams, they've capitalised on these chances, and that was a cracking free kick.
Oh yeah.
And Chalobah, man, is that Chalobah? Is it Chalobah or Chalobah?
Chalobah.
Sorry.
That was an emotional goal.
Holy hell.
He just said I had no idea what to do, so I just collapsed and started crying.
Yeah. What a guy, brother. I rate him so highly, and
He's got
I
a
really
lot
hope
of,
he stays in this team, brother. I can't see him being taken out, man.
Because he's Nathan Chalobah's younger brother, isn't he?
Yeah. What a flop he ended up being. But hopefully Trevor ain't going to be the same.
I think
But
that's probably why he was. He got a lot of sort of support from sort of a lot of other football players on social media, because he's seen how Nathan Chalobah did sort of at Chelsea. He was, like you say, a flop, and I think there was probably a lot of pressure on him then to not do what his brother did and be a flop. And I think to score like that on your debut, again, another great goal. There was so many this weekend. Happy for him. I hope he continues it.
I think he will. I think he'll stay in this Chelsea team. I think Tuchel's a good guy in terms of that way. Like, he will just stand by his players that he likes. He said he's in his plans. So yeah, but Chelsea look, just great, man. And now they got add Lukaku to this.
I think it's as expected, to be honest.
Yeah, as we said,
Chelsea,
we've got Chelsea winning the league, and I think that's definitely a possibility now. You know what I mean?
One more thing about the Chelsea Palace game. I've seen it's the first time Vieira's ever lost at Stamford Bridge.
Sorry,
never ever lost.
Sorry about that, Patrick.
Yeah, never lost a game when he played for Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. But obviously, first game as manager. See, a lot easier to lose when you're a manager at Stamford Bridge now than it probably was playing at Arsenal back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, little PSA for Palace fans. Look, just chill. All right, just chill. I know it's Chelsea, but it's Chelsea, bruv. They're Champions League winners. We got beat 3-0. They got a fantastic team. This is a fresh team. Chill out. It's gonna be all right. We're gonna stay up. It's positive Alfie this year.
Manifest
positive Alfie. Yeah, exactly, bro. I'm manifesting us being all right. We'll get a couple more players in before the window shuts. Chill.
Gotta manifest when Mercury's in retrograde and the cow jumps over the moon and all of that malarkey.
Exactly. So we've got a really difficult start, but we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Mark, your boys, Liverpool, 3-0, smashed them. Talk us through it. What did you like? What did you not like?
Bit of a slow start. Wasn't confident in the first 10-15 minutes. It's a bit it's a bit shaky. Like that old meme.
Don't get nervous.
Don't get nervous.
Get a little bit shaky.
Get a bit shaky. That's exactly what I thought about 10-15 minutes in.
Please clip that.
Yeah, mate, I'm editing it in post.
I don't get nervous, but I'm starting to get a bit shaky, you know? I mean, I'm a little bit weak.
Love it. Like I said, a little bit shaky the first 10-15 minutes, but that Jota goal went in at the 26th minute and we started to look like we were a professional team, not like this dominating.
Such a weird thing.
No, like organised.
Right, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Professional team.
Professional.
I hope so.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean.
Bromley last season, boy. Sorry, Bromley.
We looked organised.
Yeah, no offence, Bromley.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, we looked organised, is what I was trying to say. We looked like we're back in form, and even though there was quite a few changes that I didn't expect to see, so just looking at the lineup, Jota starting over Firmino, which was, I mean, not a crazy choice by any means, but usually it's the other way around. But then we have Keita and Chamberlain in the middle with Milner. That threw me off. I had no idea. But I think I saw that we had a behind closed doors friendly with Aston Villa, and Thiago and Henderson were playing in that.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So, I didn't know that. I had no idea that was happening.
We saw Harvey Elliott, didn't we?
Yes, we did see Harvey Elliott. He came on sort of the latter end. Obviously, Jota scored a goal, and then we had Firmino came on, and a little bit of messy goal, but Salah squared it off, and Firmino slotted it in, which was nice. A good little cover up there. And then Salah's goal. Whew. I can't believe Norwich didn't have someone just why did they just not say to one player, your job is to just stay in front of Salah, just don't give him room, because he just sat on the edge of the box and the ball landed to him. He was allowed time to take one touch, and that's all it takes with Salah. One touch to just push the ball out a bit, get a bit of room, and the rest was history. It's just flew around everyone, just top corner. It was a beautiful goal. It was nice to see. But yeah, Harvey Elliott came on after 3-0, and he wasn't amazing. He, nothing mad, but nothing changed because he came on. Which
he's never been amazing, so nothing's changed. Yeah.
All right, mate. But no, it's what I like to see. Now? He has cut his hair. He's cut his barnet.
Yes.
He has.
Yes. Finally.
Way better.
But what I like
actually appreciate him slightly more now, because it was mainly his hair that kind of maybe disliked.
Fair enough. I didn't really like it, to be honest. But he came on, and not like the tempo didn't change, the way we were playing didn't change. So it's nice that he can come in, slot in, and not affect much if we're just trying to ride the game out. Just does his job and doesn't have to be flashy, which is nice when he's like 18 now or something stupid.
Yeah, young, isn't he?
He probably wants to make an impression, but making an impression sometimes is not doing anything wild. It's just playing football, which was nice. Costas, I can't say his name. Oh my god, Tsimikas. But I went to say his first name because everyone just calls him Costa or something. Costa Tsimikas. Timiki. He was good. He did what Robertson did, take the corners.
Oh, a couple hands or a hand.
He did. Him and Milner. Well, mainly more Milner. Give him a cheeky little clip round the back of the ear when giving the ball away. But I just think he hasn't had enough game time. I think the fatigue came in, and he just dropped the ball. But then again, in this Liverpool team, you can't quite literally do that. So I think Milner was just like, switch the fuck on, mate. Because come on, you're filling in for an injured left back right now. Like you have to be the left back. You have to be number one right now in that position. Which I think
Milner is class from Milner though. I do have over the last 3 years. I think I've had a newfound respect for James Milner. He is incredible for his age. He is such a professional, and seeing him slapping Costas Tsimikas or whatever his name is around the head did just make me laugh, because you don't see that sort of stuff anymore. And that is very what's the word? It makes it very human. It gives us such a human element to it, and you see the passion coming from them all. And
he is an idol. He's a teacher as well to these people, because I think Tsimikas is still quite young, 25, so he's probably just coming into his prime actually. But you're looking at Milner, who is an established senior really in that team. So
exactly. Before we move on from Liverpool, are you feeling more confident?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we didn't have one of those it's still a 3-0 win. Don't get me wrong. It's still a really solid win. But there were obviously a little few things I'd probably be a bit like, hopefully that. I mean, defensively, going forward, I think we looked really good.
How did Van Dijk look?
Yeah, pretty good. Dealt with Pookie quite well. Sorry, absolutely flattened him. Didn't get yellow card. It was hilarious. I can't remember exactly. I know the ball came up for a header and Van Dijk just jumped and got into it. And I think Pookie was trying to then knock him. You know what Harry Kane used to do, where you just try and tuck under him and flip him and try and injure him for the fucking season. I think Pookie tried to do a little cheeky, I'm going to see if I can knock him off his game here. But just got absolutely flattered. Just got taken out.
It's like trying to knock over a brick wall, for Christ's sake.
It's just not going to go well. It just did, and it didn't go well. If you want to watch, it is funny because it happens and then the ball goes the other way, so the camera starts to pan and you just see Pookie just bang. It happens so quickly. It's so funny. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. It was pretty funny.
I will,
but he looked all right. He looked solid. I don't think he did anything mad, although he was pinging balls about from the back really nicely, which is what I like to see. Because I don't doubt his defensive capability. Just those balls were still getting thrown to the front nicely. So I think he was looking good.
Nice. I mean Liverpool. They did look good. I mean it's Norwich, whatever. We'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing when there's a real test, when it's a proper test, a big team. I still think they're going to be great. Top 4 definitely this year. Wow. City looked rubbish, right?
Didn't look great.
Jesus, wet.
They started off quite well, the first sort of 10-15, but shortly after that, they really didn't look great at all.
No, man, they didn't. they need Kane. They have to go get Kane, bro, because this team is just not it without. I don't know what it is, bro. Like, are we overreacting? Is that what it is?
I think you
was
have to take a bit.
Tottenham goal.
Yeah,
So-
it was a mistake that led to the goal, but at the same time, like I was basically saying with the Arsenal game, you can't read too much into this first game of the season. Obviously, it was always going to be a bit of a big game because of everything going on between Tottenham and City at the moment anyway, and obviously the various comments that have been made sort of by Pep in the past about Tottenham, all this sort of stuff being the Harry Kane team and all that sort of stuff. I think there was always going to be a lot of a lot of pressure around this game, but I think obviously they didn't really have Aguero for most of last season. He's now gone. They don't really have another striker apart from Gabriel Jesus. What's his name? De Bruyne is currently injured. I think there was a couple of different elements that probably would have made the game go slightly different if people were fit and stuff like that. But ultimately, I do agree with you. I think they need to go out there and they need to get Harry Kane. But yeah, it's a lot easier said than done when they've just spent 100 mil on Grealish. How much are they going to have to spend to get Kane, and can they afford to do that in the same summer? Will Tottenham let Harry Kane go? Personally, I don't think they will. But yeah, now Gundogan's obviously just got an injury, expected out for probably a couple of weeks. So
You're riddled, mate. with
another
injuries.
player down. My team
Is it your team that's got riddled with injuries?
on fantasy,
Yeah.
my team is screwed.
Did you have Gundogan as well?
Yep, Gundogan.
Oh no.
Fantasy League decided to tell me half an hour before the first game, so when it was too late to change anyone, the Cavani was injured, Harry Kane probably wasn't going to be playing, and then all of this other crap. But
That's
yeah,
unfortunate, man.
it is. But yeah, back to the City Tottenham game. I think Tottenham did have a bit more of a oomph in them.
They had a bit of a
I
fight.
think they were. Yeah, I think they were more up for it than City were. I think City were kind of maybe were a bit surprised by what Tottenham did, and I think Tottenham went into it, as I say, with a bit more like, right, you can't try and just walk all over everyone in the Premier League and just try and take our best player, our striker.
They've just been humbled,
And,
mate.
Exactly, they have just been humbled, but yeah.
No, fair. Yeah, I yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, they'll build on it. They'll see how they go. I still ultimately think City will probably, they'll be second if not first, probably. But depending on United, you never know. You never know, right? But they'll be that top four, is what I'm saying. And then you've got Tottenham, I don't know, divvying around Europa League spots, probably battling out for that, I'd imagine.
Yeah, well, they do have some sort of European football. It's not. I don't think it's Europa League. It's like the thing below the Europa League, whatever that now new thing is.
I wouldn't even want that for Palace because
Yeah, it's like the European Conference or whatever it's called. I can't remember, but it doesn't really mean too much.
Hi, I'm Trickster YT. I'm assuming that you. Welcome to the chat. I'm Trickster. I feel we'll just call him Trickster.
Sup, bro? Thank you for joining.
Hello.
Hit us with a WhatsApp.
Drop
lads.
us a follow if you haven't.
Basically wrapping up, but well, we're about to. But
Anytime,
thanks
lads.
for joining. We appreciate you. We appreciate you kindly. We were just talking about the Man City Tottenham game, how dodgy City looked, and how I guess Tottenham didn't look bad, but I mean it's Tottenham, innit? Tottenham and Tottenham. They'll always be Tottenham. So Tottenham will do Tottenham things.
Drop us a follow if you haven't.
He followed us, I think, about 20 days ago.
Love that.
Mo Farah.
Love that.
Yeah, no.
My favorite time.
Yeah, the only other game that I really want to briefly touch on was Newcastle versus West Ham. It's actually, it was a bit of a corker, mate. I can't lie.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, West Ham started slow, but then really got into things. And Ben Rama and Michael Antonio just ran the show for West Ham and just both got a goal and an assist, I think. So yeah, they're looking promising again. Obviously, their big problem is going to be balancing all the football they've got to play and the squad depth because they haven't added. Obviously, a good friend of ours, Jordan from uni, was commenting on our social media posts on Instagram. Check that out. Footy Fetish podcast on Instagram. We've been doing loads more social media stuff recently, last couple of days, and we plan to keep that going. But yeah, he was complaining about the lack of investment and that kind of thing. And I think maybe West Ham fans have some do. I'm not saying everyone, don't attack. That they might have a little bit of an unrealistic expectation of the club, because it was only a couple of years ago they were battling relegation, and they get one finishing whatever fifth or sixth or whatever, and they're all like, oh, we need to be battling, we want titles and stuff like that. I'm like, right, well, let's just slow down. You should be spending money, but let's not talk about titles just yet. Do you know what I mean?
100%. I think it's easy to try to get maybe a little bit ahead of yourself with that. You get one sort of good season under your belt, and you're like, oh, well, what happens if we can actually then get top 4? But the jump to get into that top 4 is a big jump. And especially having to then, like you said, balancing the European football on top of obviously the cups and your Premier League, everything like that. It's not easy. It's obviously that's why some of these top teams have been the top teams for so long, and why it's shown that it is so hard for these other teams to make that jump into sort of the top 4 and to progress from there. Leicester are on the edge right now of nearly actually getting in that top 4 and finishing in sort of Champions League places.
Build on their squad a bit, I think.
Exactly, and you think like they are a better team than that West Ham team are. They've got a lot more about them. So West Ham have got to do it more consistently, I think, to then be able to find that confidence to potentially make that jump into the top 4. But I think they're a long way off yet, and you just can't get too ahead of yourself with it, really.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have I think they will be top 10 this year, like we said on the podcast. In our predictions, they'll be top 10. But yeah, I think it's not gonna be all glitter is gold as it was last year. But yeah, boys, that is it. That is the podcast for today. Thank you. We talked about last week's football. Make sure that you come check us out on Thursday, because we will be streaming again on Thursday, where we will previewing the games for the weekend, basically just our thoughts on what we think could happen on the game of the weekend. And if there's any other news between now and Thursday, we'll be giving it to you. All right. So
also might be doing some ratings of these teams. So we're thinking about potentially going through all 20 teams and giving them a score out of 10. We'll do that each week, and then at the very end of the season, we'll keep track of it throughout the season. At the very end of the season, we'll tot up all the points, and we'll do a kind of like a table of how they performed each week and the total amount of points and everything like that. So we can then do all that.
We'll also give you the update on the Fantasy League tomorrow on Thursday, where we are on the table, the results, stuff like that, how people did. I've got to sneeze.
Oh.
No, it's got. I'm gonna get this outro done and we'll be fine. We'll be Thursday. Link us on Thursday. This will be going out on Spotify and YouTube and stuff tomorrow, or maybe even tonight. I don't know what Ollie's doing. Ollie's gonna work his editing magic and get it out.
It will be tomorrow, because it has to be 48 hours after we've finished streaming. 24 hours. Sorry,
no worries then. Perfect. But
tomorrow at 9 o'clock. It's happening
tomorrow night. So listen to it while you're in bed, and you can listen to our soothing voices talk football, and we'll get you off to sleep. And then hopefully it'll just play down the list, and you'll play all of our episodes. That's what it's about during the day and that kind of thing. But yeah, thank you guys everyone for watching. Thank you to Ollie and Mark for joining me today. It's been a good one. Always, I was saying before the podcast, I've had a rubbish day. I was in a terrible mood, but you boys, you brought me up. I feel good. So thank you. Make sure to like, subscribe. We are on Facebook. Hit notification bells. Anything. We are on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Apple Music. We're
now subscribe to us on Twitch as well, and not just follow.
Twitch, do it.
Subscribe, do it. Press that button.
We'll get more features out as well. We've got some work to do on the Twitch page by getting it up and running and getting all those little nibbly bits.
Bear with us.
But we're working on it.
You have maybe noticed that unfortunately our streams have got shorter. But we're doing 2 a week. Yay! So there's more content anyway. Each stream's slightly shorter, each podcast is slightly shorter. We wanted to make it roughly around an hour these days, because I think maybe an hour and a half, hour and 45 that we were sort of doing, maybe a little bit too much. So we're breaking it down into 2 smaller podcasts a week. So, as I say, less content per podcast, more content overall.
And we've just had a subscription, or someone's followed us, or subscribe. Tier 1 subscription. An actual subscription, guys, not follow, a subscription.
Oh my god, that's our
By-
follow, right?
It was our very first subscription.
It is
Evelyn.
from Eveline, who does Apex. I watch him. I do know him from when I worked back in Surrey. So if you're with us, give him thanks for the sub, Eveline. His real name's,
very much.
real name's Scott. Just outed him.
Scott. Absolute legend.
Big it up.
But yeah, sweet. See you later, people. Mo Farah sign. We love you. Bye.
Love you all.